One of the tefillos we say, Ein Kelokeinu, starts out by saying that there is no one like God, there's no one like Hashem, and it goes on to describe that. And then immediately afterwards, it starts to say, Mi Kelokeinu, who is like Hashem? And this is a really interesting sequence because you would think that you would start by asking the question and then stating the answer, then stating the conclusion. But we in fact do the opposite. We start with the conclusion, there is no one like God, and then we proceed to wonder about it and to question and to search and to look for a deeper understanding, a deeper explanation. And the truth is that so much of Judaism, so much of Yiddishkeit actually takes this kind of approach. And it's not just in this tefillah, but this tefillah is kind of the paradigm, or it's emblematic of what Judaism sees in general as an approach to having a ritual, having a commandment, a mitzvah, a minhag. Here is what we do. And then after we've established this is what we do, we can now look into it. We have a Mishnah. The Mishnah states very clearly this is the procedure. And then after that, the Gemara will say, Minallah and Minahni Mili, my taima, what's the source, what's the basis, what's the reason, how do we understand this? We start with the clarity, and then we backtrack to look for the understanding. And it's fascinating because child psychologist Wendy Mogul says that actually one of the biggest struggles that young parents like myself, and I can certainly relate to this, one of the biggest struggles that we have is that we feel a natural need to explain everything to our children, to answer their incessant question of why. So we tell our child it's time to start heading upstairs, or it's time to wash your hands for dinner, or time to brush your teeth, time to get in the car and leave the birthday party, and they start asking why and why and why. And we feel the need to have it make sense for them. Because I think, again, many at our kind of age bracket, younger parents, there's a certain sense of not wanting to take that authoritative stance, that kind of top-down position of, well, here's what I said and here's what you need to do. And Mogul goes on to explain that the healthiest way of parenting our children when they're young, when they get older, it becomes a little bit more complicated, but to parent young children in a healthy way is actually exactly the procedure that's captured in the tefillah of Ein Kelokeinu. It's to say what we need to do, what they need to do, what they're expected to do. And if they want to know why, they can ask why. They have the right to ask why, and they deserve an answer once they're doing it. So Ein Kelokeinu, and then Mi Kelokeinu. There is no one like God. Oh, interesting. I've accepted that. Now I'm curious. Who is like God? And so when we're telling our child it's time to leave and they're asking why, the response is, when you get in the car, we can talk about it. Or why do I need to go brush my teeth now? After you brush your teeth, I'll explain to you why that's how we're doing it, or why I told you to do it now. And I think it's important to keep in mind that, of course, we want to have flexibility. We don't want to be overly rigid. And so flexibility is a topic that maybe we'll have a chance to talk about at another time. And as children get older, this might start to shift a little bit as well. And that might be something we can talk about at another time. But for young children, this kind of approach is so important. And what Mogul continues to point out is that for many of us, we feel almost wrong, like mean, and just there's something on the inside that churns by taking this kind of tough approach. And what she says is that actually this is the greatest gift you can give your child. Because children might push back quite a bit until they learn that this is really how you approach it. But in actuality, they are longing to have people around them, caretakers, that have confidence in what they're telling them to do, that have a sense of clarity on what the right thing to do is. Children want stable environments with structure and boundaries, and they want their parents to be their pillars. And when we get into those little back and forth kind of arguments or discourses and philosophical reasoning with our little children, it really undermines that sense of stability. Even if in the moment it gives them what they want, in the bigger picture, it strips them of that stability that they really desperately need and crave. And so the gift we can give our children is to first have that Ein Kelokeinu and then Mi Kelokeinu. Here's what we need to do. If you're asking why, I'll be glad to talk to you about that. I'm not shutting you out, but first we need to do it and then we can talk about it.